Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pizza Motor Chaos. This is your host, Dave. I got my special guest, bracket racer, Curtis Allen. How you doing, Curtis?
Good. How about you?
Not bad at all. So how'd you do last weekend?
Last weekend, man, I had Friday, I didn't really have the best race car on property. I did better on Friday night than I did on Saturday. Friday, I went on fourth round on Friday in the car. It wasn't very good. Made some changes, came back Saturday, and car was extremely good on Saturday, and I drove really well. I did not turn on the wind light in 4 chances and 2 racetracks. I did not have any luck.
Wow.
But I don't know. I had a pretty good year this year, so can't complain on a bad weekend.
So now you done racing for the year now?
Man, I don't know. I might take my dad's old trusty Camaro this weekend and see if we can do some good. I think it's getting too cold to run the long cars. And, I got some issues to deal out. That I was driving that black Trump Camaro this last weekend, and I got some issues to deal out with it before I take it back out to the racetrack.
You got to do some work on that Trump car?
Yeah, I think some of the suspension area is giving me a little bit of fit.
So now
Jump. What was it?
No, go ahead.
The car was wanting to jump right on me for some reason. I mean, the car was running, actually. It ran really good numbers, and it was really consistent. But it just jumping right on me. You got to figure that out.
Now, that Trump car, what kind of car is that car?
That is a 1986 Camaro Z28. Or it's not Z28. It might be an IROC. I'm not exactly sure on the models of those cars. But it is for sale. If anyone is looking for a nice pro street style race car, it's a good bracket car. I just mainly bracket races. Previously, it's been driven on the street. Got a big radiator set up where you can do either or.
Now, what do you got under the hood of that car?
It's got an aluminum headed 355 small block Chevrolet on alcohol.
So what's the quickest pass you made with that car?
That car, I've been 672 in the 8 mile in it. It's not real fast. It's good, conservative. We got tracks around here that really, they're not the best, to say the least. And that car, it's got a 14-inch tire. It's heavy, and it goes down any racetrack you can focus on.
Well, there you go. If anyone wants to buy that car and you go bracket racing and you love Donald Trump, there you go.
Yeah, Trump, it gets it a little too much attention, though, man. It's cool and all, but I won't be upset when that sticker gets pulled off of it. Here in about 3 weeks.
Now you get a lot of negative. You get a lot of negative attention for the Trump on there, or positives?
I get a lot, but when it's bad to say, but it takes away from your racing, because my family's in politics, and my boss, obviously, the guy Mike Lawrence Motorsports, who owns the said car, obviously into it. But when you're going and you're so I feel like I'm more serious about racing right now than I ever have. And when you are that serious about it, the last thing you want to do is ask. And I love the people that ask and talk to them, but the same questions about the car, the same questions about Donald Trump. How do you like them? Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. Just the questions. And I went through a drive-through in Kentucky here recently, and before I ordered my food and before I made the exit, I have had 3 people walk the drive-through and stop me. One while I was ordering the food, and twice while I was trying to pay for it. And that's the type of stuff that happens when you pull the car around on an open trailer at the racetrack. I mean, when you're going there solely to try to compete, it makes it difficult. You lose focus on what you're doing if you're not serious about it. You don't want to be mean to people. Maybe I'm just not that level of maturity yet, but it is hard when you want to talk to everybody, but there's a time where you just can't talk anymore. Like, you just need a second to focus. Like, I'll get in the car and I'll strap up and I'll put my helmet on like 10 minutes too early just to get that time to focus back on the racing.
Right. Yeah, one thing I've noticed about drag racing, most drag racers do support Donald Trump.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of I'm all for whoever you support. I really like I think it's cool the Donald Trump, like Eric Trump went to the U.S. Nationals in Indianapolis. That was pretty cool. This one thing I'm not a big fan of, and I think a lot of, this is like not with just drag racers, with everyone, the judging people all based on who they support politics-wise. Like, I see it all the time. People, especially since having the car, I didn't realize it was this bad. Like, if you support Joe Biden, you're just an idiot. I don't like that. Like, that's not cool. Like, I don't care who you vote for. Like, that's not a big thing. And, like, that's one thing people come up to me, I've noticed a lot is, oh, man, so-and-so, he's voting for Joe Biden. No, he's this, he's that. And it's like, man, just let people vote whoever they vote for and try to base people their value on something other than who they vote for.
Yeah, you can't force people to vote for the other person, whoever you're voting for. Yeah.
Yeah.
If people don't love, what a lot of people say. If you love your country, you'll vote for Trump. If people don't love the country, that's their problem. I ain't gonna force nobody. Hey.
Yeah, I get that. Like, I don't like. I like going all day about what I don't like. I mean, it's like. I don't like judging people based on anything, really. I think that I let people do on how they are, and just I don't really like how politics or based on anyone. I don't think that any other humans they can judge anyone else. Like, I don't think you have the right to place judgment on anyone else for anything you do, just because you don't know their situation on how they view this topic. Yeah. So I think, and that's like a big thing about since being in the drag racing world and having the Trump car. Like, drag racers are great people, but there's a lot of misplaced judgment on other people that don't support this or don't support that. That's really opened my eyes up since being with the Trump car. And it's like, man, how do you guys judge people like this?
All right, Curtis, enough of politics now. So, how many events did you run this year so far?
What is it, buddy? I couldn't, you cut out on me.
I said, how many events did you run this year so far?
This year, I'd say maybe 20 times. I didn't really get out a whole lot this year compared to what I usually try to do. I mean, COVID obviously slowed people down a lot. I don't think I even made a pass down the racetrack till April. And, I can say I maybe went out 20 times this year.
Now, did you have any wins this year?
Actually, I was in a top dragster final at Edgewater Sports Park in Cincinnati, and I was made it to the finals of the I-64 Motorplex. Runner up there, then I built this car. Quick little story on it. I got my dad, his Camaro he's had for 25 years, is a 1980 Camaro, back half, big tire car, and my grandpa bought this car, this street car, the same time my dad got his, and he stripped it down, the bare, chassis, bare everything, and it's set in his barn. And a year or so ago, I pulled it out of his barn, and almost a year from when I pulled it out of his barn, I raced it April of this year for the first time ever. I made a pass down the racetrack in it. It was pretty slow. I just had a stock motor in it just to get the feel for it. So then I ended up, I didn't win in the car, but there. But that's about the only time I really even raced the car this year.
So
I
what?
had time to do more stuff.
So what's the fastest pass you made in the dragster?
My fastest dragster pass, I've been, I went 475 in the 8th mile this year. It's a pretty conservative bracket setup. 475 in the 8th mile, I think, is like 750 for the quarter.
Now, you prefer quarter mile or 8th mile?
We only really bracket race 8th mile. I've done a lot of the 8th mile big money bracket racing this year. I've been my first topple bracket race in a dragster this year. I went to Bowling Green, Kentucky for the 10 tuck. They had 3 10-grand to win races, and I went out there for them. But I haven't really. Most of it's really for big money. I really raced this year. I've only raced a couple of times at our home track, just Saturday night for fun. $1,500 to win races.
All right, now let me rewind the clock with you, Curtis, and that's how did you get into drag racing?
And that's easy. When my dad, when I was a little kid, I just wanted to be like my dad. I mean, everyone would be like that. He raced, and he raced, and when I turned 6 years old, before you were legal to drive a junior dragster at 6 years old, my dad bought me a car, and we got a little outlaw track around here, and I was able to go and race, and I ran my junior dragster when I was 6 years old, the first time ever, and then after that, it was pretty much hooked. I got to race more and more every year. I got pretty serious in the junior dragster racing towards I was 13, 14 years old. I ended up won the junior dragster championship, our local track, and did some more traveling.
Now, did you do the junior all the way to 16 years old?
No, I did not. I only did it till I was 14. Similar to how I started in the junior dragster racing. My dad just sort of got tired of it. Honestly, the best thing about junior dragster racing is the kids that you race with and the memories with it. But the worst thing about it is the parents. And I had gotten in, some people were complaining about my style of driving, and I ended up, I got ID'd at one race. They questioned my age. They said that I was too old to race because I've been racing too long. And then I was like, I'm only 14 years old. So then, once I got ID'd, my dad got pretty fed up with it, and he sold the car, and I got into a dragster right after that. We put a little slower motor in our dragster, and they went 530s, and I started off in it right after that, and just raced around here and there at tracks that would let me race. And then I got licensed with NHRA when I turned 16, and then I sort of just been anywhere I can race, I've been ever since.
Now, Curtis, besides your dad being a big inspiration for you, any other drivers inspire you?
Yeah. There's one guy that really inspired me through racing. This guy, Luke Bagacki. He's from Carterville, Illinois. That's where he lives now. I followed up through racing, and I looked into, I really just followed his racing career, and he did it for a living, and he used to have these on-the-road columns when I was a little kid. I used to read, he would, write this column, this paragraph about, a little bit longer paragraph, about how, his weekend went racing on the road, and, just stuff like that, and the dreams of going to be at that level one day, and now that I've gotten a little bit older, I get some opportunities to race against those guys like Luke or Edmund Richardson or Scotty Richardson, those guys that you read about all the time through drag race results or watch them on the live feed. Those guys, you get a stage beside those guys and race those guys. That's been a pretty cool experience as I got older. Those guys that inspired you as you're younger, that you read about, and now now it's like, man, you get to race against these guys, sort of.
Now, do you look up to any drivers in the NHRA, like big show guys?
Man, really, they're all so, all the, like, top fuel guys. I mean, my favorite was, like, Antron Brown when I was younger. Really, just because he was the first guy, an African-American, to really, like, to do what he did. Like, be top fuel world champion, and he got on. Like, I don't really remember a whole lot of African-American top fuel drivers.
Yeah.
And he was different, and I like different. Like I'm different, I guess. And, like, I like the different look at it, the different, the underdog, so to say. Like, just, like, doing something different when everyone else is, like, over here doing this. Like, I just like how Antron Brown came on. He was the first one, and, like, he wasn't, and he did good. And I got to meet Antron through junior dragster racing. Like, I met his son, and I got to meet Antron, and we were out of town racing, and I thought that was really cool. That was, like, really the only, like, top fuel guy or NHRA guy that I've ever looked up to.
All right, now, when you first got behind the wheel of a junior dragster, how was the first time experience? Do you remember?
I was scared. Man, I remember, like, it was yesterday. I was at this place called Thornhill Drag Strip. It's the oldest drag strip running in the country, actually. And it's all backwoods, like, no sanction body, no guardrails, no nothing. And it's pretty scary. I remember crying. I went to do my burnout. The neck brace that they make you wear was so thick, it was like I couldn't see over the helmet because, like, it pushed the helmet up so far because it was so thick. And I remember crying, and my dad came over and he took it off of me for my first pass. And then after the first pass, it was like, after that I was, like, hooked, and it was like, man, I was sort of into it there.
How was your first time experience driving the dragster you're currently driving?
First time driving it, actually, I drove a door car first, but the first time driving the dragster was different. Like, it only went like 530s, but man, it felt like a rocket ship. It was just like, everything was so different, and the adrenaline rush of it, and I was real excited after the first pass. But driving a dragster is pretty boring, to be honest with you. You make the first pass, and, like, that's sort of it.
All right, so how was it switching from a junior dragster to a door car?
Yeah, it was scary. That was, I could never, what my dad did, I begged him. He had two chassis Firebird, an 87, and it went 570s to the 8 mile, and I begged him for a long time. Come on, Dad, man, it's only 570s. I've been 770s in my junior dragster, and I didn't understand all this at the time, and, like, the speed difference and how dangerous it was. And I begged him, like, stayed on him, begged him every week, every day. Finally gave in. He told me I could make some 60-foot runs, I could make some half-track pulls, and then I would eventually get some full runs. And then he would turn the car up as we went. And so my first run, I couldn't even keep the throttle down. I made like 3 or 4 runs where I would go, like, it would take off and my foot would come off the pedal and I'd get scared. And then once I made my first full run, it was like, man, this is awesome.
Now when you take
what?
now when you take the dragster out now or the trump car, who are your crew members?
My crew members. Sometimes I'm by myself, but if I got someone with me, it's my brother. My brother was born with, he had a birth defect, I guess is what it's called. He had a stroke when he was a baby. He had a blood clot in the top of his, like, well, I guess by your brain tumor, or not brain tumor, but like, I forgot what, like, on your, like, in your forehead, he had a blood clot, and he's, like, half of the right side of his brain had damage to it, and it caused, he's one leg. He's paralyzed in, and he has autism. And we struggle with him a little bit. He don't get to go to like races in summer times a lot because sometimes it gets too hot and he might have a seizure.
Right.
But whenever he's there, man, he's my biggest supporter. I mean, he comes in and he rides a golf cart and he tells me what to do. And sometimes he's a pain, but at the end of the day, you want to train him for nothing. When you win, everyone knows about it because he's cheering. Oh, that's my brother. But when you lose, everyone knows about it because he said, my brother just lost. He got beat by so and so, or he did this, he did that. And it's one or the other. He's gonna go and tell everyone how bad you suck, or he's gonna tell everyone how good you are. I mean, when you turn that win line on, you just see how happy he is. I mean, there ain't no better feeling.
So your dad doesn't help you at all?
He does. But here recently, since I've been sort of doing my own thing, he don't come to the racetrack with me near as much. But, my dad, he races. He's actually, I drive his dragster. When I drive the dragster, he works obviously together. But it's a lot of fun. Like, the problem racing my dad is he's so good. He's almost embarrassing to race with. My dad is 10 times the driver I am, and just he don't put himself out there. I don't think that's what his main issue is. I don't know if he don't believe in himself or what, but when he goes out there and he puts his mind to it, he usually wins. This year has been a real good year for him. He's won several races, and he's been really dominant in racing this year. For as little as he does race, because he don't race like every weekend. He just picks and chooses when he wants to go. And
hey, nothing wrong.
He's more like a coach.
Nothing wrong with that. Now, Curtis, what do you enjoy most about being a drag racer?
I enjoy most. I like the people. The people you meet for no reason at all. I mean, all the people I've met through racing, I can name off so many people that how would I know this person if I didn't race? But what I do now, my career now, I wouldn't know these guys if I didn't race. I mean, they're great people. I mean, you can't ask for no better. I mean, all my best friends race. I don't really, through high school and stuff, I don't really talk to anyone I graduated with. Just the people, the memories, and it's also, it's different. I mean, not everyone races, I guess. So, everyone plays baseball or basketball, but I don't know, I guess it's just special.
Yeah, the drag racing family just gets bigger and bigger all the time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, what do you hate most about being a drag racer?
What do I hate most? The complainers. I hate the complaining. When you go to a racetrack, and I love racing, and I never usually try to bash a racetrack because you want that racetrack to open its doors the following weekend. And one day the racetrack might get tired of being picked on or internet bashed on these Facebook keyboard warriors. One day they might close the doors and give up, and then we got race cars sitting there with nowhere to take them to. I mean, that's my biggest thing I don't like about the racing community is how much everyone just complains and bashes, and it's just never good enough. I mean, we got a track down here, local Edgewater Sports Park, Cincinnati, and I mean, those guys, they really turned the track around this year. The owner of it passed away and left it to his sons. But, I mean, they turned the track around, and I mean, the place is awesome. But I mean, you guys on the internet, anybody complain that the weather wasn't warm enough for them, or it's just something dumb. You just got to get on the internet, and you got to bash the track. I mean, we're fortunate we got several racetracks around us, but I don't want to be that one day have only two to choose from. So that's my big pet peeve about racing.
Now, Curtis, if you could have the drag race fans remember one thing about you, what would you want them to remember about you?
I want you to remember? Man, I don't know. Never really thought about it. I just want people to remember me for, I guess, who I am. Like, I'd want them to remember me not by any success or losses, or I just want to be remembered for, I like to help other people, and I like to just be kind to everybody and not ever try to look down on someone or anything like that. I like to share positive energy. Like, I don't like to, I feel like negative stuff always comes back to bite you. And I've learned that the hard way. I've not always been this way. So I like to just be kind to everybody and help out when I can and just boost people up around me.
All right, now when you get up there to the staging lane, do you have any pre-race rituals or superstitions at all when you're out there?
Yeah. One pre-race ritual, like before I fly on the racetrack, I pick myself up in the car. If it's a dragster, it's really easy. It makes me look dumb. But I like to pump myself up, and I tell myself that there ain't nobody better. Because I think racing, you gotta have a lot of confidence, because it's a lot of a mental sport. As crazy as it might sound, I think it's a lot mentally is the most challenging part of it. And I like to try to make myself feel unbeatable, like nobody there can beat you. But that's not the only thing I do as like a ritual. There's like your staging, like the racing routine.
All right, now do you have any sponsorship at all?
Sponsors, if you know you want to look at a sponsor, a racing team, I know the guy. But nah, I don't really have no sponsors that really help me out. I guess I ain't good enough for all that yet. I got but there is some people I do help my racing out. Mike Lawrence and Craig Flora, seen him Hot Rod, Lawrence Motorsports. They gave me a chance when really no one else. They believed in me when no one else did, I guess. They gave me a trailer. They gave me a race car. Told me to go racing. My own personal car. I was building a motor for it and just doing some stuff to it, make it a good race car. And he's obviously the guy that owns the Trump car. And I work for Mike. He's opened up a speed shop where we will do a lot of race car fabrication. We'll sell race car parts, wiring, updating, whatever. Anything race car, you can basically do it. And he just gave me a chance when no one else really, other than my dad, obviously, no one else really gave me an 18-year-old kid a chance like he did. So there's the real people that really support my race the most.
All right, now, does it take a lot of preparation to get that dragster ready for a weekend?
Yeah, it takes a lot of dedication and a lot of effort. A lot more than some might think.
Now, how do you prepare yourself mentally for a race?
Mentally, I just really I try to live right. I don't because I don't like when you do something wrong or you don't think you were doing the best person that you could have been that week. They weighs on you. Like I have a heavy like I have my conscience. Like if I do something wrong to someone, I want to think about it for a little bit. So like that weighs on me. So like I try to live right and I try to do right by other people, and I just try to focus on myself and what I got going on. You know, I think that's the best way to prepare yourself, not having any extra weight to throw you off balance.
All right, now what are your favorite tracks to race on, Curtis?
Oh, favorite track, Bristol Dragway in Tennessee. That is the most beautiful place on earth. That is my favorite racetrack, and my next favorite is Bowling Green. I love Bowling Green. I haven't had a whole lot of success there at Bowling Green. Actually, I made the probably dumbest move I've ever made at Bowling Green last time I raced at Bowling Green, but I love the track. I love the facility there. And the same with Bristol. I mean, they're both beautiful.
Now, where do you get all your fire safety equipment from?
I think, actually, I don't even know, man. The jacket I use today, it was my dad's first ever, racing jacket, 20 years ago. The one that's legal to drive his Dragster in. I had a Sparco racing suit, but I outgrew it as I got older. So then I still wear the pants. But I think it's an RCI jacket. And I don't know, I just feel comfortable in it. It's worn out. It's like wearing a hoodie. I mean, it feels pretty cool. With then I use Simpson gloves. When you hold the transfer button, I like to feel all of it. And when I race the Dragster, when they require it, I like the gloves that you can just feel real good through. And I wear a Simpson helmet. I think they got the gloves and the helmets down. Simpson are really good.
All right, now what track did you make the fastest pass with the Dragster? What track was that at?
Columbus at a National Trail Raceway Park. That track I made fastest pass. Actually, I lost that race, but I made the fastest run.
Now the car that you're building, that's another bracket car?
Yes, it's a little economy bracket car. It's not your $50,000 chassis car. It's going to be a leaf spring, 650, 8-mile bracket car. A little different than what you might think of as your conventional car to go race with. But I think I can just fit it. I think enough work on it, we'll get it good and make it very competitive.
Now, do you ever get any advice from any of the other drivers out there in bracket racing?
Give advice? Man, the guy I race with, Mike, his son Logan, he's new, big car racing. He raced juniors with me, but I might have some on him here or there. But other than that, not really. When I was younger, 15 or 16, I thought I had it all down. So I would always oh, you should do this, you should. Now it's now I found out that there's more ways to get to the finish line than one. So I try to, unless someone asks for advice, I try not to give it. Because I don't really know what all I'm talking about either.
Do you have a biggest competitor out there in bracket racing?
Biggest competitor? Shoot. Man, not really. I don't really have a big competitor. I know there's this girl I raced in junior dragsters. Man, I raced her 10 times, and I never won. Her name's Lindsay Mitchell. I don't think she races big cars anymore. Her dad's a really good racer, but I think she wore me out of junior dragsters. I don't think I've ever beat her. And if I had to race her on the ladder, I could just went back to the trailer to save fuel.
All right, now
So that
have you reached any milestones so far?
milestones, man, not really. I mean, I set my goals when I got in a big horse. I set my goals way too high. I wanna accomplish something on the big money scene, and I wanna do something like that, or I set my goals pretty high when I started. So I don't really have any milestones other than that. Just trying to compete at that level, and I want to be the best. My big milestone is to see how good I can get. Because I haven't really raced a lot the last year or two. Last year I didn't really race but a handful of times. And I think my performance has shown. I've struggled a little bit here lately. But I think if I put some effort in, then I could race for a full year in the same car. I think I can go a little bit farther. And I like the con.
Now, as far as drag racing goes, do you have anything on a bucket list that you would still like to do in drag racing still?
To do in drag racing?
Yeah, you have any bucket list stuff, like you want to drive any certain, like pro mods, anything like that, funny cars, dragsters, top fuel,
I'm not really into like the pro ranks. I would always want a radial versus the world race. Man, those guys are cool. Stevie Jackson and all this, they're the coolest. I'm the diehard bracket racer. I mean, the no prep guys don't really do it for me, but like the radial versus the world, going 350s on small tires. I mean, that stuff, it looks pretty cool. But the only problem with that is it takes a big piggy bank to do that.
Yeah. All right, now, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing, Curtis?
Racing really consumes my life. And I'm okay with that. I don't really have any other hobbies. I don't paint. I don't really do anything.
All right, now, have you won a lot of trophies throughout your drag racing career so far?
I won a few. I don't know. I think I got like 25. But I've won a few races. They didn't give me trophies. That's a little crazy.
Now, if you could find a time travel machine and go back into time, would you do anything differently with the drag racing?
Most definitely.
What would you do differently?
I would go back and there was a race. There's a couple things I would fix, but here's like the first thing that's like stuck with me for a long time. I was in Bristol, Tennessee, the last year that I ran the Junior Dragster like Eastern Conference Final. Big deal. I was down to 11 cars. We had like 700 total, and I was down 11 cars, and I was going down a racetrack. I had the advantage on the start line, and as I was going down the track, I hogged up the finish line, and I broke the car out like 0.02 of a second, and I lost. And that just stuck with me. I remember looking at the guy. I remember looking at the finish line, thinking, "Oh, good, you're not going to break out." Then looking at my scoreboard, and like, damn. Like, I remember that pretty in depth.
All right, let me ask you a few fun questions here before we close out. All right, Curtis, what's your favorite food to eat?
Cajun chicken wings.
Favorite beverage?
Sweet tea.
Favorite movie of all time?
Ooh, favorite movie. The Kisses.
What's your favorite music?
Ooh, I like classic country music. I can do it all though.
All right, when you were a kid growing up, what was your favorite cartoon to watch? Did you have one?
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob SquarePants, huh? When you're at the track for a day of racing, Curtis, do you eat regularly or do you eat light for a race day?
Oh, I eat a lot. Like I eat pretty often at a racetrack. I like chili cheese fries. Probably my favorite.
All right, most embarrassing moment at the track.
I pulled the e-brake at the finish line because I had a guy tell me I would not drop my opponent at the finish line with the e-brake. I had done it 8th mile racing, but I was just pulling enough to slow the car down without setting the brake lights on. And the problem was when I did it, I pulled it too far and my hand slipped off the button, so I couldn't put it back down. Next thing I know, the back tires are locked up and it's out of control, and I smacked the wall going 95 miles per hour.
Alright, so what?
In a streetcar. I've been fast in multiple areas, and I wrecked a streetcar.
Alright, what's been the fondest memory of your racing career?
Favorite memory?
Yeah, favorite, fondest, same thing.
That would probably have to be. I won 2 weeks in a row at our local racetrack has junior dragsters. We had really tough competition, and it was like a big deal. I had won, I think, like 15 rounds in a row straight, and that was probably my most memorable based off performance standpoint.
Now, what's your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, biggest pet peeve. I've touched on it a little bit, but I'm going to stray away from that pet peeve. It's my biggest pet peeve is complaining things you're not willing to change. Like people that will complain, oh, well, I can't win, I can't do this, I can't do that, but then not willing to put in the effort or the work to change that.
What is your favorite color?
Yellow.
Now, are you a dog person or cat person or neither?
Dog.
Do you have any dogs?
Nope. Probably one of my favorite.
All right, so Curtis, if people want to, follow you, see where you're going to be racing at and all that good stuff, what's the best way for people to follow you?
Just send me a friend request on Facebook. I got a Facebook page, Allen Brothers Motorsports, but I don't really keep up with it like I should. But I post a lot on my personal page there about where I'm racing at, where to see me, and stuff like that. So just add me on Facebook. I'll accept it. That's probably a bad thing to say on a podcast.
All right, so Curtis, you have any final words or thank yous, anything like that before we close out?
I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to come talk to you tonight, man. You were a hard guy to still time with.
Yeah, we finally got it done.
I know we rescheduled about 10 times. I was like, man, you're gonna eventually tell me no. You're eventually gonna just cancel on me because I think we rescheduled about 20 times. But just thank you for the opportunity, and I like what you're doing with the. I was looking at your thing, and it's pretty cool. I think you had like 90,000 downloads on this thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Here.
Yeah, I try to support you drag racers.
You said you had like 90,000 downloads. That's pretty cool.
I try to support you drag racers as best I can. That's that's all I can do. Give you guys promotion.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. There's not a whole lot of guys that do that. There's a couple, but I mean, to get for a bracket racer, it's hard to get
yeah, I've even interviewed a couple of junior dragsters, so I do everybody.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. If it's drag racing, I'll interview you.
What is it?
I said if it's drag racing, I'll interview you. It don't matter who you are. As long as you're a drag racer, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, hey. That's what I like to hear.
So if you know any drag racers want to do interviews, send them my way. I'll interview them.
Alrighty.
All right, Curtis. Thanks again for being on there, and you have a great night, my friend.
See you, man. Have a good night.
All right, bye.